I remember the first incident that I had with the law was that I grabbed a person's money out of his hand from at a shop and ran away with it. But the shop owner knew me. And it was very stupid of me to do that in front of him. But nevertheless, he knew me so well that he even pointed to the policeman where I lived and everything, and I got arrested. I was sentenced to a cane. You know, they would beat us with a cane and all that, and they beat me six of. I would say that was six of the best, man, because hey, it was they beat me so much. I was so scared after that, but I was angry, and I went back for that shop owner, and I smashed his car because of that, and I got arrested for smashing his car, and I was given a 6 months prison sentence, of which I was only kept in custody for 4 months. But when I came out, I thought I've learned my lesson. I am no longer going to, do wrong things to people and all that. I was very fortunate to finish my trade and become a carpenter. But during the time that all these political stalwarts were released from prison and all that, many companies closed during that time, including the company that I worked for. And I found myself now back in the community again and all that. And by that time I was already married, having 2 children, having responsibilities of having a house and all that. And there was this drug trade that was still prevailing and all that. And I opted to sell drugs until I will get employed again. And it was during that time that a lot of trouble ensued. I was not so well versed with the happenings of what's going on, the ins and outs of the drug trade and all that. But I can say I did well, but I soon developed enemies also. You will be amazed to find that in your absence from the daily undertakings in the township, you are not even aware that some of your close friends are involved in these things. And without mentioning names, but by just saying that I found out that one of a close friend of mine was involved in these things, and I approached him, and he wasn't reluctant to help me, and set me up with my first consignment, so to speak. And I did well. He got his money, and I became trusted because I was honest also. He would get his money in time, and I would get my profits, and that's how it went. And and as soon as you are doing good, you attract other investors who are sitting with stock, but they don't know how to disseminate it, how to get rid of it. And that's what happened. And but in that process you are creating problems now, because as soon as you go for the easiest bidder, the cheapest bidder, and you win a deal, don't forget that you have been busy with somebody else before him, and you are now causing problems now. And that's where problems come now, because these people are going to start fighting with one another, and you are at the center of the fighting. In those days, there was a drug called Welcanol, which was also known as Pinks because of the color of the tablet. It was a painkiller, very extremely strong painkiller, but for specific people with specific illnesses, especially those that had cancer and the likes. And it was a strict prescribed drug, but we managed to get it behind doors and all that and sell it, because those people who were drug addicts, they would inject it into their veins and get a high out of it. And then there were Mandrex tablets. Those were the drugs that were very much on the market then, in those days that I was busy with those things. These new drugs that Nyaupe and stuff that they are using now, I don't know those things. I don't even know how it looks even now. I just see people are like zombies. What happened with me is that all of a sudden people started shooting at me. They shot my car, they shot through my house windows, and I soon realized that they were trying to kill me. And because you see, these guys, they would normally use young kids that are addicted and give them guns and promise them money and drugs. These young guys would do anything for that. Many of them are not properly schooled. They do not have sound reasoning capacity, and they are addicted to drugs on top of that. And so, they are very desperate to do anything just to feed their addiction. I was set up one day when I was with my friends, and these guys that were paid already to come and shoot me approached, but luckily they didn't know who I was. They were only informed that I had a brown leather jacket on. But as I was standing there, another friend of mine who also had a brown leather jacket on came and joined us. I was very lucky because, I could have been shot. I could have died that day. They shot my friend who was standing next to me. He ended up in a wheelchair, and I grabbed the firearm and I shot back at them. One ran away, the other one, the one that was shooting at us, he died. But you find it so strange as to say that you were busy defending yourself, but you become the target for the police now. And you only find out afterwards that this thing has been planned, even with the involvement of police, to say that that person is going to die and how the case must be investigated so that it must be an unknown murder. And that's how it is known there in that region. So many unknown killings that are happening in broad daylight, a lot of people seeing it, but nobody saw anything. And the police will also always come to the very same conclusion that there are no witnesses. They cannot pursue the case because nobody is willing to tell them what happened there. But it's not all the police that are like that. There are some good policemen also there. But the thing has intensified to such an extent that even the good policemen, they keep their distance, because somehow it seems like everybody has now to fear for their lives. That time when that shootout with me happened, I survived it, but the police were now pursuing me, because the thing was that I must be taken out of the way. And they failed, so it was now up to the police to make sure that I get out of the way. So I was in trouble, and I realized that no, man, it's not necessary for me to continue with this. This thing is too dangerous. But the things that already happened, and I was arrested, and while I was held in custody awaiting trial, I wasn't given bail. The magistrates refused me bail, but something very, very strange happened. After being in custody for about 2 months, all of a sudden I got bail, and I did not apply for that bail. The investigating officer of the case gave me bail, but because I had my clothes and everything at the prison, I said to my friend, do not bail me now, come and bail me on Friday, because there are certain things that I need to get off mine there at prison. So let me go back to prison and just fix everything that I have there. Come and fetch me on Friday. Strangely, the Wednesday, the cops went to my house. The very same investigating officer and other cops, they went to my house, as my wife told me, and they were looking for me. And when my wife asked them, why are you looking for this person? They said, no, this afternoon he killed 2 people. And they were even with the witnesses there. One witness was there to say that he came to point me out for the cops, because he said that he was with the people that I killed. But I was still in prison that time. And when my wife said to them that, no, the guy is still in prison, that cop said, but he got bail. Isn't he out? He said, no, he's not out yet. We are still trying to get all the bail money together so that he collect all the bail money so that we can go take him out. And they hurriedly went out of my house, stopped searching the house and everything, and left. Now, the strange thing about that is that later on, the court convicted me for one of those murders. And I was sentenced to 24 years for that murder. And I was in prison when it happened. But the way that there was even witnesses that came in the High Court of Johannesburg High Court that said that they saw me shot that person. And I was sentenced to 24 years. And as much as there is proof that I was in prison, the judges as well has something to do with this whole thing. You know, you will think that it is only the cop on the floor that is corrupt. With this drug trade here in South Africa, it goes even higher up in the ranks. It goes even very deep into the system, this corruption. And you will be amazed as to what they are getting away with. You know, I was sentenced to 54 years in prison. And I was told that it is a fitting sentence for me to remove me from the community, because the community would be better if I am not in that community. I was sentenced for those murders, including the one, and you know what, it was not murders, so to speak, because really I was attacked in the first instant. And in the second instance, I did not kill that person. I wasn't even there. And you know, the sad part about it is that that trial of mine lasted only 3 days. And of the 3 days, I did not even have a proper legal representative in the High Court for all that matters. And I only spoke for the first day. And what I spoke for the first day was that I said to the judge, I don't have a legal representative here. How can we continue with this case? And he said he's got many cases. He cannot postpone this case again. We must finish this case. I was sentenced to 24 years and 30 years, which collectively was 54 years.